Now notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
I was not prepared for that, but why was I mouthing the words as well? Like, why were we all in the studio doing the same thing? That was former President Obama's rapping Eminem's Lose Yourself in the movement, the moment, you own it, you better never let it go. Just after being introduced by the legendary Detroit rapper, he has been a vocal critic of Trump, and here he is tonight officially endorsing one Kamala Harris.
People shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions, and I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
I want to get to LZ Granderson, a Detroit native and host of the Life Out Loud with LZ Granderson podcast. LZ, they're in your hometown tonight. How significant is it to get Eminem's endorsement in Michigan more broadly, especially when it comes to efforts to mobilize working class voters?
Absolutely, Laura. You nailed it. Trump usually goes to Michigan and pulls out, Kid Rock. But those of us who were born and raised in the area, we all know that Kid Rock is just doing cosplay. And that Eminem is actually a real product of the area and of the city of which he speaks and what he represents. And he also doesn't use his platform very often in the political spectrum. So when he does speak like this, it does have impact in Michigan specifically, but also nationally. Remember, he's still a very popular figure, and Lose Yourself did win an Oscar because it is that dope, and it does still have that staying power like that.
I mean, he's got to own it, never let it go, get one shot, right? And this was apparently his shot to endorse Kamala Harris. And yet, as you mentioned, it's not just Detroit he has to appeal to. It's got to be Michigan, which, of course, has the huge undecided voter population we knew from months ago. But Eminem has also been a huge Trump critic. He's made waves back in 2017 when he released, well, this freestyle on BET. Listen.
We better give Obama props, because what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops.
Does it resonate, his critique?
I think so. I think so in Detroit or in Michigan in general, because, listen, we have this saying in Detroit area. Are you from Detroit? Or Detroit? Because there's a lot of people who say they're from Detroit, but they're really like 35, 40, 50 miles away. And they aren't really of the city and of the element of the working class people that you think of when you think of the area. That's not Eminem. That's not who he represents. That's not where he's come from. And so we know that in the area, and he's drawn attention to a part of the conversation that I think is missing with a lot of people, is the artist's impact on what a Trump presidency could be. That's what I thought in terms of how he was endorsing the vice president and speaking specifically about retribution for how you speak. You're talking about him using his rap platform to attack President Trump, where he's talking as an artist. Artists should not be afraid to speak out, particularly against elected officials. That's what the First Amendment is for. And I think Eminem used his endorsement as a way of using his stance as an artist to direct our attention towards that as well.
Well, I'll be curious to see the impact of his endorsement. It doesn't ring like the pure, quote-unquote, celebrity endorsements that Trump has been very critical of when he's not receiving, but very praising of when he gets it. LZ, real quick, before I let you go, I want your critique on Obama's rendition of Lose Yourself. What do you think?
You know what was good about it? It was sneaky. That's what I appreciated. It took you about 2 or 3 feet, and then once you caught on, then he just let it rip. So I give him props on the delivery.
Well, look, it made me want mom's spaghetti. LZ Granderson, thank you so much.
But already more than 20 million ballots have been cast in early voting across the country. And people are lining up every day to get their votes in ahead of schedule.
Yeah, in the key battleground state of Georgia, nearly 2 million voters have cast their ballots. The state's top election official says he expects 70% of all Georgia votes will be cast before Election Day.
And early data suggests Republicans may be getting into the early voting mix at a higher rate than usual.
Experts say the entire election could come down to a handful of swing states, including Michigan, where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are running neck and neck.
And that's where former President Barack Obama spent his evening campaigning for Kamala Harris. For his appearance at the campaign rally in Detroit, Obama was introduced by one of the city's favourite sons, rap star
President
Eminem.
Barack Obama.
Well, Obama had plenty to say about why Harris is the right person to lead the country. But before getting down to business, the former president had a little fun with one of Eminem's most famous songs.
I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
Well, after that, Obama jumped back into politics, taking aim at Donald Trump's claims that he is the one best equipped, really, to fix the nation's economic problems.
The economy, when he first came in, it was pretty good. And I say, yeah, it was good because it was my economy. I know folks in Detroit remember it. I spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans left me. Y'all remember the auto industry in America was flat on its back. They didn't want to lift a finger to help.
And when Eminem had the microphone, he also called out Donald Trump for his recent threats to seek retribution on those who've opposed him.
I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
Well, Donald Trump spent his Tuesday night campaigning in North Carolina, a key swing state he won in both 2016 and 2020. There he launched into a series of personal insults against Kamala Harris, calling her a low IQ, slow and stupid person.
At a rally in Greensboro, Trump responded angrily to President Obama's comments about him and dismissed the star power of the Harris campaign.
Obama was a real jerk. A real jerk. And I think he's a real jerk because I've watched him campaign over the last couple of days. They bring in so-called stars that I've never even heard of. You know, these are not stars to me.
Kamala Harris will also make her case to voters tonight in a CNN town hall as the race for the White House hurtles towards the finish line. Both Harris and Trump are looking for every opportunity to win over undecided voters. It's a decision that could change the future of the US.
And as Donald Trump continues to claim, without evidence, that the upcoming election is being rigged against him, there is growing concern about what he might do if Kamala Harris wins the presidency. Harris spoke with NBC News about how her team is preparing for that possibility.
We will deal with election night and the days after as they come, and we have the resources and the expertise and the focus on that as well.
So you have teams ready to go? Is that what you're saying? Are you thinking about that as a possibility?
Of course. This is a person, Donald Trump, who tried to undo a free and fair election, who still denies the will of the people, who incited a violent mob to attack the United States Capitol, and 140 law enforcement officers were attacked. Some were killed. This is a serious matter.